when I was a young man, did I tell you this story of how he sent me the bicycle?
No. Please tell me the story.
I never tell you the story of how he sent me the bicycle?
Well, I don't remember. Tell it for the camera, please.
Uncle came home to visit us. Like he's in America now, right? We know he's in America, and we would write to him every now and again. So, on one occasion, he came to visit. By that time, I was already going to the School of Agriculture. I had even graduated Homewood and was now at the School of Agriculture when my uncle came to visit. When he came to visit, I was home on a vacation. It was one of the vacation time. And he came and he visited with us. And when he was to return to America, I took his case, his case that he got, put it on my head, and carried it from the house out to Larmers for him to get the bus. Remember, I put it on my head and carried it on my head. And I didn't know he was taking note of that. Anyhow, he went back to America, and I went back to school. I went back to the School of Agriculture. But he took all that information about the address of the school. Remember, I went to School of Agriculture, was in Spanish Town.
Right. I
went to school in Spanish, between Kingston and Spanish Town, the School of Agriculture was. It is now a police academy.
Okay.
They took the school, and I think they put the school in Portland now. And where I went to school is now the police academy. They train, it's a police training place now.
Right.
But that's where I went to the Jamaica School of Agriculture. Okay, I went back to school, and one evening, I got a call. And when I went up, a brand new bicycle was delivered to me. And I got frightened. Alvin Stewart, L.K. Brandon was a big bicycle dealer in Kingston. And these people delivered this bicycle on a truck. A truck bring the bicycle to me. White wall tires, white fenders. Most people those days, you had a bicycle that had manual brakes. This one had what you call cable brakes. When the cables stick out like that, This is high class stuff, man. It's only people of a certain caliber can afford a bicycle like that. This bicycle was delivered with my name printed on it and everything. These people delivered the bicycle for Alvin Stewart. I went up there and I said, come on, this is a mistake. This is a mistake. This can't be. Anyhow, they delivered the bicycle, they called for me, they delivered it, and they left. I took the bicycle down to my dorm and I put it on there and I said, you know something, I don't want any surprises because I'm sure somebody's going to come back in a few days and say this was a mistake. And so, all of my friends gather around now because this is high class stuff, to have a bicycle like none of them boys in the school know that none of them family would have been able to afford to buy them a bicycle like this because a bicycle like those in those days was probably 16, 17 pounds. You know what it was of our little caliber to save 17 pounds to be able to go to LK Brand and to buy a bicycle? I mean, Aston them had bicycle, but Aston them in a day could never afford anything close to that. So, brother, we begin to all kinds of things. Where could this bicycle come from? Some of them boys begin, by those days, Madeline was going to nursing school. And when we had dance and stuff like that, we would invite the girls from, Madeline's batchmates. They would come over to the school, and when we had dance and stuff like that. So I became very popular because I was Madeline's brother.
Right.
And Madeline was part of this large community at the university. She was in nursing school at the university, University of Western Nursing School. So then all kinds of theories. Some of them boys come and say, Alvin, I bet you because all them girls, because you are Madeline's brother, I bet you this is the reason all them girls put together and buy this bicycle for you. And I said, well, what kind of theory is that? why would these girls going to save their money to buy me a bicycle because I am Madeline's brother?
Uh-huh.
And brother, because anyhow, I started to ride the bicycle, but I was very, very skeptical because I was too afraid that one day somebody was going to come back there and claim this bicycle. Anyhow, I kept riding it, and even some of the teachers, Douglas, would come and borrow my bicycle. You know, they want to go to Spanish Town or something like that, you know, they come and borrow my bicycle. You know, my bicycle was that high class. Anyhow, what happened? One day I got a letter from my uncle. He said, I was the one who did it. He sent to LK Brandon, asked the price of the bicycle, sent the money to LK Brandon to pay for the bicycle, and asked them to deliver the bicycle to me. Because he said he saw me do something that he never knew any human being still did. When I took his bag and put it on top of my head.
Right.
He said he wanted to reward me, and he says, even the bicycle I sent you with no reward for what I did to you did.
It was very important to him.
That was that important to him, because I remember, you know, when he was a child, and this is how we grew up in the country. But remember, he's gone to America now for how many years, and he had never seen that. If somebody take up a load and put on top of their head. Remember down the country?
Yes, put load on your head all the time. Yeah. Climb the hill, come up with your thing on your head.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he said he couldn't fathom how a person did that, and he couldn't find out a way to compensate me for doing a thing like that, because I carried this thing on top of my head, you know, from around the house all the way out to Lawrence.
Yes.
You know, to go
Which
get
is a good distance.
car to take him back to Kingston.
Yes.
So that was my reward for the bicycle.
Wow, that's a great. That's fantastic.
That's
so it touched him.
It touched him so deeply, and he said he couldn't think of what could he do to just show me a little bit of appreciation, you know, for what I had done. But take up his big bag and put it on top of my head and carried it behind him all the way out to Lawrence for him to get the bus.
Wow.
Yes.
So on that note, Uncle, do you need to take a break, use the washroom, do a couple of things?
No, yeah, we can take a break.
Let's take a break, and then now let me charge this up again.
Yes, because
we have to talk about how Mutty met Arthur.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a break.
We still have stories.
Yes, take a break. All right.
Douglas, you're fascinating. This is unbelievable. These stories need to be told, because you know what, Douglas?
Yes.
These stories are going to end.
Yes.
These stories are going to be lost.
Yes. Well, I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm very excited to interview Aunt Winnie and Aunt Madeline. And in fact, when I interview Aunt Estelle again and Ina.
Yes.
And then I'm sad now I never.
Everybody's going to have a different version of the story.
And I'm sad now that even my father I never interviewed.
Yes. Because because I'm sure things that I don't know, because I'm sure Winnie would know things that I don't know.
Yes.
Because remember, you know, I am the 8th child of the family.
That's correct.
You know,
that's
so
correct.
Winnie and them would know more about my mother's mother and.
All right. So, do you remember how this came to be?